Hello everyone and welcome. I have a really nice bow making tutorial for you today. In today's crafting adventure, I'm going to show you how to make several basic bows for your wreaths. Once you get the basic understanding of bow making down, from this point you'll be able to move forward and design so many different bows. The bows that I'm going to show you today do not need any special equipment. You don't need a bow maker or anything like that to make these bows. So let's go ahead and get started. In the description box below, you will find a detailed list of where I purchased each of the ribbons I'm going to use in today's tutorial and the item number if it has one. So we're going to start with just your basic bow, and I'm going to use this really pretty 1.5 inch blueberry ribbon. Now you can either measure or eye it, whichever is most comfortable for you. The first thing you want to do is decide how long you want your tails to be. So I'm going to measure at about 6 inches for my tails. Make a pinch. And then decide, how big do you want your loop? I don't want a really big loop. Then you can measure it. That's about 7 inches. So pinch. You bring your 2 pinches together. Then measure out again, pinch, bring that into the center. Now you can check by pulling your loops together, and if they come up at the same height, they're even. And then measure out your tail. Take a pipe cleaner, wrap it from the front to the back. I always like to pull down, pinch and twist. Okay. And there you go, a basic bow. Now you'll do the same technique whether you're working with 1.5 inch, 2.5 inch, or larger ribbon. You go through the same process. And then if you need to do any adjusting to your bows, you always want to go down right where you have it tied, and that's where you need to do your adjusting. Okay, so that's your first basic bow. Now I'm going to move to this really pretty ribbon. I love this ribbon. I have purchased this a couple times, and I like it because it's very easy to work with. So I'm going to again measure my tails. I'm going to do 8 inches, pinch, and then I'm going to measure 8 inches on my loops as well. So measure 8 inches and pinch, pull it together, about 8 inches and pinch. Okay, so we're so far repeating what we did the first time. Now this ribbon is a little bit more stiff, so I'm going to adjust it as I kind of work with it. Now here's where we would normally make the tail if we were doing a basic bow, but I want to make a double bow, so we're going to measure again at 8 inches, pinch, bring that again to the center. Measure at 8 inches, pinch, bring it to the center, and then measure out your tail. See, so now I have 2 loops on either side. Again, I'm going to wrap a pipe cleaner around the center, pull it down. Check my loops, everything looks very even. Pinch and twist. Then again, open up your loops and pull down your tails. And there you go, a basic double loop bow. And now we're going to move to this really pretty blue ribbon. And now I'm going to do another basic bow, but with 3 loops. And you go through basically the same process. You measure out your tail, pinch, measure out your loops. I'm going to go slightly larger on this one. I'm going to go to 9 inches, pinch. And you just keep going until you get your 3 loops on either side. When tying the center of your bow, you can use whatever you prefer, whether it's a zip tie, cable tie, pipe cleaner, floral wire, or bow wire. Use what's most comfortable and convenient for you. Now this ribbon is much softer than the first 2. So this is a very soft ribbon. This is a very stiff ribbon, and this one is right in between. Okay, so now you know how to make 3 basic bows. Now the nice thing about doing it this way is that now you can stack them all together and make a nice, large, big, beautiful bow for your wreath. You take the 3 loops, you put the 2 loops on top, and then the single loops on top of that. So I removed the pipe cleaners here on the back of the middle bow. That's going to go right on top. And then I'm going to use the pipe cleaners here on the single loop and feed that around to the back around the other 2 bows. This is going to help me tie all 3 of them together. Trim anything excess and push that down. Now with these 2 shorter pieces, that is going to allow you to add an additional pipe cleaner, so that you have a long enough pipe cleaner to be able to attach it to your wreath. I twist the 2 shorter ones together, and then I take 1 short piece and wrap it around 1 long, and then I do the same thing to the other side. Now I have plenty of pipe cleaner to be able to attach this to any wreath. Then I can just kind of go in and open up the different layers. So I spread all 3 of the loops in the back, open the 2 here in the front. Spread that open, put this in the center. So look at how pretty that is when you stack all 3 together. Now you have a really nice, large, substantial bow. And I'm going to show you here how to cover up your pipe cleaner. Now you can either add some form of embellishment here to cover it up, or you can wrap it. We're going to wrap it today. And you can use any of the 3 that you want. I'm going to be using the blueberry. So I just cut a piece that's a couple inches in length. Now you want to fold the sides inward, so you're going to do like a tri-fold. So to help this stay together while I'm working on it, I like to add just a little dab of hot glue on either end. That's just going to help keep my fold in place. Turn it over. Open up your pipe cleaners. Add a little hot glue, and then place one of the ends Then wrap it around the center. You just want to check, see how tight you want that to be wrapped. Once you get it in the position and you're happy with it, glue it down. And trim off any excess ribbon. So I still have my pipe cleaners to be able to attach it to my wreath. Now, I usually like to do my tails once I get my bow onto my wreath. I have a better visual as to how long I want to keep them. But for today's demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and trim my tails now. Now I really like the stacked look with the dark blue here in the back and then the white and the blueberries. So I kind of want my tails to do the same thing. My blue here is going to be my longest tail, and then I'm going to shorten it a little bit with the white and a little shorter with the blueberry. Once you get down the 3 basic bows, you can combine them any way that you want. You can use the same ribbon on all 3 bows and put them all together so it looks like one single large bow. You can mix in several layers to get the look that you want. Isn't that adorable? One big, beautiful hand-tied bow. Next, I'm going to show you how to make a basic twine bow. Just cut a piece so that you can tie the center. And I like to use my hand, and normally I usually do 4 fingers. If you want it a little wider, you can open up your hand. You want to start with it here at the top, and I always leave a little extra piece. And now you can wrap around however many times that you want. I'm going to do about 6 times here. And on the opposite side and leave a piece. Take it off your hand and just grab it right in the center. Take the piece of twine and wrap it around. I usually wrap it around a couple times around the center and then tie it off in the back. Usually I like to do a double knot because sometimes the twine likes to, you know, slip. Just check your loops, do any adjusting. Now if you want more than just the 2 tails, when you tie the center, leave the piece longer so you can pull those down as tails. Otherwise, trim off any excess. And then I like to hit those ends with just a little bit of hot glue. Again, I don't want it to pull back through. There are so many different ways that you can make a bow. These are only a few. There is no right or wrong way as long as the end result is what you're looking for. Very simple and easy twine bow. I'm going to show you another way to make a basic bow, and this time we're going to layer the ribbon, and we're also going to be cutting it into pieces and then putting it together. So let's see, how big do I want my bow? Sometimes I just kind of pull my bow together like this to decide how wide I want it. Once I understand about how wide I want it, I can adjust it, make it smaller or larger. Then I can see how long I'm going to need. Okay, so about 16 inches. I'm going to cut a piece at 16 inches, both ribbons. and then this is what I have left off of that orange roll. This is about 12 inches. I'm going to use this as my tails. Clean the end up. And I'm going to match with the green. Okay, so I have one piece of each ribbon cut at about 12 inches. That's the tails. And then I have one piece of each ribbon cut at about 16 inches. This is going to be your loops to your bow. So you want to lay the bow part one on top of each other. Okay, so find the center. Okay, pinch in the center. And take one end, pull it into the center and pinch. And do the same thing to the other side. So it looks like that. Then you take the pieces that are for your tail. Again, find the center. Pinch. And add the pinch there to the back with the ribbons facing up, like this. Take a pipe cleaner. Wrap it around the center to the back. Again, I like to pull everything down. Check your loops, pinch and twist. Okay, I always like to hold my bows in the center when I'm adjusting. Sometimes I don't know my own strength and I tend to pull too tight and I might pull something out. So just pull down your tails and open up your loops. Do any adjusting that you need to. Try to keep that right in the middle. But I really like that. I think the lime green with the orange in the background is so pretty. It really makes it stand out. Okay, and then you can go ahead and trim your tails however you like. And there you go. Absolutely striking. I love the two ribbons together. They are so pretty. Now this technique of cutting each piece of the ribbon, the tails are separate and the loops are separate, are really good for using when you have ribbon that has a design that faces one way and you want your bow to show it facing upright like this on all the loops. You cut pieces and put your bow together like we did on this one, and then your truck with the pumpkins and everything will all be facing the same way. Now if it doesn't bother you that on some loops it's facing the right way and some loops it's upside down, then don't worry about it. But I know on certain projects want everything to face the right way. So this is a good way to get that accomplished and to have a beautiful bow. Now I'm going to show you how to make a very large floppy bow, and this is very easy to do. So you need to decide how large you want your bow. I want it about 16 inches, so I have about 8-inch loops on either side. I'm going to start here with my green. So the center would be 8 So I'm going to go here to 9, and then I'm going to measure out to 16 inches. Okay. And then I'm going to loop my ribbon. Okay. So I have my ends that start here in the center, and they overlap each other. And then I've looped around so that I have enough to have 2 loops on either side. And when you push it down, it's about 16 inches across. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other 2 ribbon. I'm going to do this one next, and then this one on top. Now on this one, I want an additional loop to go in the center. This is where I would normally cut it. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to measure it and then bring it, fold it back over itself. And trim. So I have all 3 pieces together. I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, I'm going to scrunch it right down the center and wrap it. Okay, so I have all my big loops. And now I do want to add some tails. I'm going to use my leftover piece here. Find your center. I'm all out of my green ribbon, otherwise I'd add a piece of that too. And take that. You want the nice side of the ribbon to face down, and then just place it in your pipe cleaners and give it a twist. This is also a good way, if you've already put tails in but you want to add more, this is a good way to add more at the end. Just tie them onto the back there. Now remember, you have an extra loop here. That's going to be your center. And then you just need to go through and open up. You need to make sure you pull the part down at the base there. And open up all your loops. And there you go, a nice large floppy bow. It's always easier for me to adjust these large ones once I have them on my wreath and I see where they're going to sit. But you just play with it, mix up. You can do as many layers or as many loops as you like. But a very easy, nice, large hand-tied bow. So with this ribbon, I'm going to show you how to do a double loop bow with a center loop. So I'm going to start with the center loop. Make sure it covers itself by about 1 inch, and then you need to twist and then pinch where you twist. That's where you're going to hold everything. My fingers in there. Okay. So this is my center loop, and then this is the beginning of my loops. So figure out how big you want your loop. Bring it to the center and pinch. When you pinch, you need to twist. Make another loop, Bring it to the center and pinch. Right, twist. Make another loop. Bring to the center. Now your loop can be larger or the same size. That's completely up to you. Twist. Now when I'm twisting, I'm bringing the nice side of the ribbon up so I can make my loop. And make your additional loop. Pinch. And then to do your tails, you pull out a piece. You bring it back up. I'm going to trim it here. Pull out a piece, trim. Then you take the end, you bring it up to the center, you pinch it, and you add it. Okay? So I have 2 loops on either side, my center loop, and then a large loop down at the bottom, which is going to be my tails. Then you take your pipe cleaner, zip tie, whatever you want to use. Stick it in through the center loop at the top. Bring it around the bottom here. Want to get it nice and tight. Again, you can pull everything down. Pinch and twist. Okay. Now this big loop, that is your tails. And just pull that out straight so you're even and cut. Now you have your 2 tails. And then pull down your loops and open up your center loop. Again, I like to hold it in the center, but sometimes I just pull too hard. And that is what your bow should approximately look like. Very cute. Now I do have this little piece of the end that I started here in the center that was kind of sticking out. So what I'm going to do is fold it down and fold it to the back and hot glue it. And then if there's anything extra once I have it hot glued down, like there's still a little piece there that's going to show, I'm going to trim that off. Isn't that pretty? Very, very pretty. And of course you can trim your tails however long or short you'd like. And there you go, we're all done. I hope you enjoyed today's bow tutorials. It's really nice when you can get your basics down. With these bow tutorials, you'll be able to combine them and make any size bow you need for your wreath. Thanks so much for stopping by. You know it's always a pleasure to see you. If you enjoy craft tutorials and hauls, you're going to want to check out these other videos. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.